Hello, and welcome to the second part of our nice Automation Studio YouTube training video. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the macros that we'll be able to run when you finish the final workflow. As you can see, I ran our previous video. I ran everything 3 times. And I did this that way we could have some data while we're setting up these macros. So, to start, you're going to want to go up to the Developer tab. Once you're here, you're going to want to click Record Macro. Now we're going to call this text underscore 2 underscore columns. Now that that's there, we click OK. And now it starts recording what we're doing. So we're going to highlight the likes column, go over to Data, and click Text to Columns. From here, we're going to click Next twice, and then click Finish. Now what that did is it reformatted our likes to be in the proper format. We're going to do the exact same thing now for the views. Highlight it, text to columns, click Next twice, and click Finish. Now that you've done that, we're going to repeat this for videos 2, 3, 4, and 5. So once again, highlight it, text to columns, Next twice, and then Finish. Now, the reason we're doing this on each page is because if we do this all at once and have this stored as the single macro, we'll only have to run it this one time in our actual workbook, and it'll get us the desired results on every single page. And for the final video, text to columns, next, finish, text to columns, next, and finish. And now that that's done, go back to the Developer tab and click Stop Recording. And that's your first macro done. Now that that's done, we can move on to our next one, which is going to be setting up the graphs for each one. Now, in this case, we're going to do a different macro for each video. So, once again, go to the Developer tab, make sure you're on Video 1s, and you're going to click Record Macro. And we're going to call it Video 1 underscore graph. And click OK. Now that that's there, we're ready to start recording the macro. So, highlight the rows and columns that contain data. So in this case, we'll go in and we're just going to highlight all of this. Now that it's highlighted, go to the Insert tab and we're going to click this column right here. As you can see, it's Insert a Combo Chart. So click on that drop down. And you're going to want this one right in the middle here. A clustered column with the line on the second axis. Now, as you can see, this has our likes as the bars with the ratio for likes, and our views is this nice line with the view ratio over here. And we have our date and time here. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change the title of the chart. So where it says chart title here, you're going to want to click in and you're going to want to rename this. And we're going to call it Video 1 Likes and Views. Next, go up to the Developer tab once again and click Stop Recording. And now we've done that macro. So now we're going to go through and do the same thing for every other video. And I'll see you back when we're done with those. Now, once you've done all of the macros, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go up to the file location and you're going to want to save. But you're going to want to make sure that when you save it, you have it as an Excel macro enabled workbook. This allows you to run the macros from Excel. Otherwise, it won't work. It should give you an error because you have macros and it won't save it without it. But just in case, make sure you come here and instead of Excel, you have it as a macro enabled workbook. Now that that's done, we can move on and go to Automation Studio and create the final piece that we need. And this is going to be the workflow to actively run the Excel. So create a new workflow and we're going to call it macros. So now that we have our macro workflow in here, we're just going to need to have 6 steps, and that's one for each macro. So if you want, we can set it to have a timer in between each, but it's not 100% necessary. We'll do it anyway just in case. So now that you have all the steps, you can rename them if you want to remember what each one's doing. But for this case, I'll just keep them as steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in this first one, we're going to want to do the run macro function. So we're going to want to run a macro in a specified Excel. Now remember, the Excel path we have over here in the macro is going to be the first one, which was text underscore 2 underscore columns. And for list of text, it's an empty list of text here because we don't have anything we want it to do. We just want it to run this macro without any specific parameters. Now we're going to go and do the same thing for the next one. We want to run a macro in a specific Excel. Once again, we're going to put in the full path. This time the macro is going to be video1 underscore graph. And once again, we use an empty list of text. Now we're going to do the same thing in each of these other steps, except we're going to change it from video 1 to this time it'll be video 2. This will be video 3, this will be video 4, and this will be video 5. As you can see, now it has every video macro listed. Now what we'll do is right here, we'll just put a timer at the start, because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go back to video 5, and we're going to want to do one more thing for every single one. So video 5, when it ends, we're going to have it start the previous workflow, or start the macro. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it start the macro workflow as it ends. And we're going to go back into every single video, and we're going to do that. So for video 4, we want when it ends to start video 5. So we go to close tab, and we do start. Video 3, we're going to want to start video 4. Video 2, we want to start video 3. And video 1, we want to start video 2. And now that that's done, you've now completed your YouTube training automation. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it came out perfect for you.